Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine. Time now to shine a light on wrestling. Of course, many of you probably with us this past weekend on Watch Stadium as the Mids had dual meet action with Lehigh and Duke. That, of course, meant you saw Tanner Skidgel in action for the Mids. And you guys with two, I mean, look, you go up against Lehigh, you know what kind of product they have to offer, and you go up against Duke / the Fine Silver family, which makes up four parts of the Duke wrestling roster. You took on one of them, and I thought Coach really paid you a nice compliment afterwards. You know, Zach Fine-Silver is a guy you'd seen before, and a guy that you had some problems with, but you come out that first quarter just explosive. What happened there that allowed you to get into such a good rhythm in that first 3-minute period and really take control of that matchup?
It came out pretty hard, just like right off the whistle, like exploded and like hit me in the head and like went in for like a shot, and I was like, it's go time, I guess. And he was leading in pretty hard, so I took advantage of it and like hit my shots off that. And then I took him down with that shot. He escaped, and I hit the same shot like 4 times. Just kept working on him. So
when you wrestle a guy, and you've obviously seen a guy before like that, does the game plan change, or is it once that whistle blows to start the match, it's on, and you just have to basically react to what's happening out there?
Yeah, definitely. You want to, like, when the match starts, like, set the pace. Like, for me personally, if I go out there, I'll get all kind of lackadaisical when I'm out there on the mat and just be kind of reactive. So, like, helps, like, right off the whistle, just, like, hit him real hard in the head, or, like, just get some kind of action going, like some fake shots, or, like, shoot something off the whistle, so, like, it just gets in the rhythm of it,
When you wrestle against an opponent that's that experienced, is it a case of, as you mentioned, when you get that shot, taking it, and were you surprised that you were able to come right back and rapidly really get a couple of moves to go boom, boom, boom like that, again, especially against an experienced opponent like he is?
Yeah, I was a little surprised, especially like a little happy that happened, because he beat me pretty bad last year when I wrestled him, and to take him down like that pretty quickly felt pretty good. A little confidence booster, I guess.
Well, you went up against a great wrestler in Gordon Wolf in your first matchup with Lehigh. How do you bounce back from that mentally? I mean, physically, you guys wrestle multiple matches in a day, all the time. So that's not really a big deal. But how do you bounce back mentally from that first match to be ready for a completely different opponent, literally an hour later?
After that match, I just kind of like just listened to my music and just sat in the locker room for like the first couple matches, the second duel, just get my mind right. Just not really thinking about the match or anything, just like relaxing.
You and Scout, man, growing up, how much battle did you all do, either on purpose or with some maybe extra training on the side? And what's it like to be able to share this experience here at the academy with him?
Oh, it's amazing, because obviously, like, neither of us would be where we were without each other. We've been like wrestling and fighting our whole lives. We actually couldn't be partners for a while. Growing up, our coaches were like, no, because every day it just turned into a fist fight. So,
but does I don't know if drive is the right word, but when you have someone like him in the room every day, does it drive, push you a little harder to want to be successful, because he's doing his part, at his weight class, one down at the moment. Because when you look around that room, there's solid competition in that room all the time.
Yeah, it definitely helps. We like can build each other up too. Like after practice, if either of us feel like we didn't do as well as we should have or whatever, or there was like problem areas in our live goes or like our drilling, I'll be like, hey Scout, come over here, and like we'll just like do some drilling like on our own after practice, which is cool.
What was the culture shock like when you walked into your first practice at the Division I level and looked around the room and go, wow, all these guys are actually really good here? What was that like to try and fit in and now try to assume your role that you've established here right now for yourself?
Yeah, it was like a pretty big change from like being a big fish in a small pond, like
Sure.
beating everybody pretty good in high school, and then coming here and everyone's pretty good. And it's funny because like the starters or like the upperclassmen, they'll like purposely grab the plebes and they'll rough them up pretty good like the first couple weeks, and I didn't really know that. I was like, oh crap, I'm like getting beat up by these people, and yeah, I know. I was like, it was definitely like a little confidence shock. You're like, oh, maybe I'm not that good and stuff, but you eventually figure it out, and it's mainly just like a mental switch. Like, it's obviously like some technical things you got to work on because some moves that like would work on people in high school just don't really work at this level, you know. So you got to like fix some adjustments, like keep your head here or whatever, and but it's definitely like a lot of mental. Like you just got to know like I can hang with these people.
I was going to say, listening to Coach share it during the course of the match on Sunday, one of the things you just mentioned, he's constantly preaching, and your assistant coaches as well, head placement. Why is head placement so critical? Because that's really the first thing we see when you guys are in that neutral position. We see both guys going down in here like this. What is so critical about that head placement, as you mentioned, trying to get your shot fired off first and trying to take control of a match?
Yeah, so you want to keep your knee and shoulder aligned pretty much in every position when you're wrestling. This goes from like neutral, and even when you're on top and bottom, you want to like knee slide forward and get your chest back so that you're in your knee and shoulder are aligned, because your opponent wants to get your head over your knees, and then in that way he's able to pull you back to the mat, or if he gets your shoulders back, he can pick up a leg easier, So if like you stay in that position, it's just like the most strong position to be in.
You guys still have a lot of action between now and the EIWA championships, but what does a win over a guy like Zach Feinsilver do for you confidence-wise? Because I know you have confidence in all the technique and everything that you practice during the course of a week, but until you go out and put it on display against another wrestler, how much does that help the confidence factor in what you're doing during the week leading up to a lot of these matches is working, because now you've been able to beat a guy like that?
Yeah, it definitely helps a lot because we work pretty hard every day, and it's good to get that little bit of
payoff.
Yeah, a little payoff, So, yeah, like there's been a couple of those this year where like I was like, wow, like I've actually like improved a lot since last year, and like what I'm doing is working, and it helps a lot confidence-wise to know I can beat like the best people, and if I put in just a little bit more work, maybe I can like be the best,
You could have, obviously, with your prep background, you could have gone any number of places and wrestled. Why the Naval Academy?
I don't know. We just got recruited here like pretty young, and me and my brother were both like, seems like a good place, and obviously my dad was like, oh yeah, you should go there. Like it's free college, like it's the military and stuff, and I was like, all right, well, let's do it.
And you get a great education, set yourself up for life.
And stuff.
Not too bad, right?
Yeah, maybe not be like all the right reasons to come, but.
But have you grown into it though? Has it been?
Yeah.
Has it been? I mean, obviously, did you have a preconceived notion as to what it might be, and has it proven to be something completely different than what you may have thought?
Yeah, it's completely different than what I thought, but I like it.
All right,
it's cool.
Appreciate the time. Best of luck to you and your brother Scout as you all continue on here at the Academy.
Thank you.
All right, Tanner Skidgel joining us here on the Navy Sports Magazine.